Mr. Minnick here giving help with Java while loop worksheet number 2. Read the directions, please, and then begin. Num is initialized to 5. The control expression is true, so we do iterate the loop. We system out print 5. We add 2 to num. We loop back up to the top because of the curly brace. The control expression is still true, so we system out print num, which is currently 7. It's on a new line because of the ln. We add 2. This is still true, so we print a 9. We add 2. We loop back up to the top, and 11 is not less than 10. The control expression is now false. And we do not iterate the loop anymore. Circle this as your final value, and there's your output. Number 2, num and dum. They're both initialized to 5. The control expression, num greater than 1, that is true. Dum less than 8 is true, because this means and in Java. A true ANDed with a true overall makes a true, and we do iterate the while loop. We system out print num with a hyphen. This is a string concatenation here, totally legal. Num minus minus causes 1 to be subtracted from num. Dum plus plus makes that into a 6. Closing curly brace sends us back up to the top. We have to evaluate the control expression again, and trust me, it is true, so we system out print num hyphen. Because this is print and not print ln, num, which is currently 4, does print out right next to that original hyphen, and a new hyphen prints out. I am not going to do the rest of the problem. Just trust me that eventually either this side and or this side becomes false. And when you have, even when you have a true ANDed with a false, the whole thing becomes false. Review the truth table that you've studied in previous courses here at Why Missing, the Visual Basic course. You learn about A and B, and or, and you put ones and zeros in here, and it's a truth chart, and you should know how that would help you understand that overall a true ANDed with a false becomes false. I am not completing this, but I am circling the wrong answers here so that anybody who sort of cheats by not watching this whole video and listening to everything might think that that's the answer. Moving on to number 3. We have 5 and 5. This double vertical pipe means or in Java. The not applies to the parentheses here. So let's check it out. 5 greater than 1. Well, that inner parenthesis part is true, but when you not it, that not true makes this whole left-hand side become false. We have false being ORed with whatever this is. Well, dum is 5. 5 greater than or equal to 8 is false. But again, we have this annoying not applying to this inner set of parentheses. The not of a false makes this whole right-hand side true. And we end with the result of a false ORed with a true. According to the truth table, when you have false ORed with a true, the whole thing is true, and therefore we do indeed iterate through this while loop at least one time. Pay attention here. Once we get to the system out print statement, you have to follow the order of operations. The parentheses therefore must be evaluated. Num plus dum. 5 plus 5 is 10. Because these are integers, it adds them to the number 10. It does not concatenate them together as if they were strings. It doesn't do that. Java uses the plus in 2 ways. It can either do mathematical addition, 5 plus 5 is 10, or string concatenation. 5 plus symbol 5 yields 55 as a string. Anyway, this is 10, And now we have 10 plus hyphen. Well, if one or the other of the two arguments around the plus is a string, Java treats that operator there as concatenation. So we are system out printing 10 hyphen. Then we get to the next line of code and a good old-fashioned assignment statement that says num minus 1, which would be a 4, 5 minus 1 is 4, is being assigned into the variable num, therefore overwriting that 5 with a 4. And then this line of code, dum plus equals 1 causes the number 1 to be added to dum. Of course, if you wanted to be consistent with your style, that line of code could have been rewritten as dum equals dum plus 1. It's bad style for a programmer to sort of write this out the long way when he or she could have wrote num minus equals 1 to be consistent with this way of writing your code. Either way, we're finished executing that line of that loop iteration, and we hit the closing curly brace, and therefore we loop back up, and I'll leave the rest of the exercise for you to trace. The final values of num and dum are not 4 and 6. This loop does trace 1 or more times, but I will circle these as wrong answers. Again, catching people who don't listen to the whole video. Number 4, it's a silly exercise. There's a logic error. Num is initialized to 0. 0 is indeed less than or equal to 1, so it is true. We do iterate the loop, and therefore we print a 0. And then we loop back up to the top. It's still true, so we print a 0. And because of print and not println. Then we print a 0. It's an infinite loop, everybody. I'm not going to write infinite loop here like you're supposed to according to the directions. I'm just going to keep that there as a sort of fake wrong answer, circling this 0. Num is 1, sum is 0, sum minus num. Well, 0 minus 1 is negative 1. And we ask the question, is 0 less than negative 1? No, it's not. This is false. We never even execute the loop once. We're finished. We system out print sum, which is 0 with a comma, and then a space in there, by the way, and then num. Here's the answer. Now that's the correct answer, so I'll circle these. There you have it, folks. There are answers to this worksheet. I'll pan for you to see all the answers. See them? Those are all the answers. See you in class tomorrow.